Hello everybody, Khadirah Muhammad here from Omnipotent Capital, where we buy companies in the United States, mainly in kind of the healthcare and as well as online space, but as well as local companies around the entire nation. It's been a while since I made my last video. I know I've gotten quite a few requests of people who wanted to just get an update on what I'm doing, and I think my last video was from like October. I'm so sorry about that. My goal is to make more videos, kind of talking about really my experience with buying companies and the process and what I'm learning, and to show you guys kind of the deals that I look at, the deals that I pass up on, the deals that we actually invest in, because I think it's just nice to kind of talk about that journey. This particular reason I'm making this video is I just got done with a 3-day mastermind where we spoke about really raising capital for deals that we want to invest in. It was an incredible event with only like 10 people in it, and the amazing part is like there was 10 of us, so me and like 9 other gentlemen. And above us, we were in like the West End, Buckhead in Atlanta. I'm still here right now. I'm in the middle actually of transcribing all of these notes that I have and putting them on my online document. What's so funny is this is just this group of 10 people who are talking about buying companies, raising capital, either debt or from investors, or from even the raising capital from the businesses that we're buying themselves. And above us is like a totally different event with like 200 entrepreneurs all talking about how to start companies. There was another event, same type of idea of teaching people how to buy companies, or not buy companies, but start their own companies somewhere else in Atlanta. And here we are, just 10 people talking about buying companies. And it kind of shows, most people don't think about buying a company and how you can actually kind of skip to the head of the line just by buying the line, basically. So I want to be able to talk more about this mastermind, maybe in a series of videos, and really things that I have learned that I think are incredibly impactful, because I'm not being facetious or just making stuff up when I say that I probably got about $1 million a game. Really, I mean, technically speaking, and I actually figured out the literal number of how much value I got, not how much it was worth, but how much value I got. And at a minimum, it's something like what's my number? $1,025,000. I mean, weirdly technical, but that's the actual literal number that I got when you consider a ton of factors that I'll have to talk about in upcoming videos. But the main point of the mastermind was to talk about raising capital with debt, raising capital with investors, and raising capital using the internal operations of whatever company you're trying to acquire. And these were very, buying companies is already something, like most people don't know how to do. And this way of just being able to get the money to buy a company is, the ways we were talking about it was, again, something you can't Google it, basically. It's not Googleable information. It probably would rob people of millions of dollars if this was just straight Googleable information. So I'm going to talk about one of the factors. It's actually about raising capital using the internal operations of the company you're trying to acquire. And just to keep a note, the way you want to do this is really, you're really raising the capital, quote unquote, for the purpose of being able to pay the business off. Usually this is after an LOI situation. Usually the business is under contract, and it might actually already be funded in the sense that, or it's undergoing funding, meaning the seller is about to get paid off for the whatever agreed amount value of the company that which we're buying. Okay, so by the way, an LOI is a letter of intent, and there's another contract. There's multiple different types of contracts that have to be sent, but the seller just basically agrees, okay, I'm going to give you the company for, say, $100,000. Okay, and so that's been agreed upon. They're either just waiting for their money, or there's certain other parameters in place that maybe for whatever reason we're not already having the company. But once you also have the company, you're still raising capital, but it's inside of the company for the purpose of being able to pay off the seller, assuming you don't pay the business with cash, which most of the time we're not paying the business just with cash. It's actually probably very not beneficial at all to pay a business with cash if you're in the business of buying businesses, and I mean our cash. So one of the ways of being able to raise capital inside of the business or inside of the business you're acquiring is by actually using the database of current customers and employees of the acquired business. And what I mean is, you can kind of just as easily just go to maybe some of the loyal customers of a company. Let's say you're trying to buy a salon, right? Okay, so I'm a black woman inside of America. I like getting my hair done, my nails done, all of that, right? Any woman's going to want to do that. Most of the time, we go to the exact same place over and over again, especially if you're a little bit older. And so if you're buying a salon, they probably have a lot of long-standing customers that have been there for quite a while. Depending on the area, the income value of the area that which the salon is in, yada, 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 you can actually just go to the customers themselves and try to get the customers to be investors in the company so that way you can pay off the company faster. Let's say you seller finance the company, meaning you got a note from the seller, they got a big payoff, and now you're paying off the bank that which paid the actual seller. Again, let's use the $100,000 scenario. You can go to the customers and ask them to be investors in the company because they've been around for so long, and just say, hey, if you're willing to put in $5,000, that's usually our minimum for any investor for like any deals. We ask for $5,000 minimum. Let's say it's $5,000 or $10,000, and you can invest in the company, become an investor and a shareholder in the company that which you've been going to for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. People go to the same salon forever. And so you can just easily ask them to be investors. They're probably they're the most invested person in your company anyway. They're probably the easiest people to get actual large sums of money for the purpose of being able to pay off the company. The faster you're able to find ways to pay off the company, the faster you're able to get your ROI whenever you actually do the big exit into big exit out of the company. So that was just one of the ways that we talked about. We had a very good conversation about it, and it's one of those things that may seem obvious when you say it, but like you don't think about it when you're trying to buy a company. You don't think, hey, let me just go to the customers and ask them to be investors. So that like blew my mind right then and there. You can either ask them to be investors or just ask them to take debt against the company, and we just pay them back. They don't get equity, but they get maybe a 20% return on their money that which they invest, whatever it looks like. That's one of like 13 different ways we were talking about in ways of raising capital to be able to pay off a company. And it was, again, it's one of those things where if you're able to get in these groups of people, let's say if you're trying to buy companies yourselves, it's so important to be able to get in these masterminds, get in these small groups, right? There's nothing wrong with, very large conferences of 200 some people, but there's a lot of power in being able to just get in the door with like 10 folks, like those 10 people can give you millions of dollars worth of gain, just from being around them for a half hour, So that was an incredible conference, or not really a conference, but a mastermind. I had so much, I got so much value from these gentlemen. It was great. And so my intention is to actually make more videos on this channel talking about my experience, and maybe one of the first things I'm going to do is really talk about some of the other strategies that we learned during this mastermind, and ways, if you're watching this video, and again, if you want to raise capital yourself, you can kind of take these strategies and try to implement them yourself. But I'll be honest with you, I cannot give everything. That'll have to be disclosed to people who actually want to invest in deals that Omnipotent Capital ends up investing in. So that's it for this video. Again, my name is Khadirah Muhammad, the managing partner at Omnipotent Capital. I am so happy that you watched this video after, like, I think my last video was like back in October of 2020. We're going to be more consistent with these videos and kind of sharing and documenting the experience of being able to buy companies. So much fun. I'm going to be probably making like a mini series talking about different ways of raising capital, and whether it's debt or investors or internal operations or even more. And if you want to learn more about what we're doing, and if you want to be, if you're interested in investing in a deal, I invite you to go to omnipotentcapital.com, fill out the form or send us an email, or you can click down below in the description. There's a link for you to opt in, and anytime I come out with the video, you'll be able to get an email about it. And I intend to have more specialized, exclusive content just for people on our email list. So if you're interested, go ahead and click below. My social media is down there as well. Feel free to look up my LinkedIn and contact me there. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks.